What if the secret to massive change is incredibly small? You don't have a motivation problem, you have a strategy problem, because the most disciplined warriors in history were actually lazy. Let's talk about that gap. The one that lives between the person you are and the person you know you could be. It's a frustrating place to be, isn't it? You have the vision, you can see it so clearly. You say you're ambitious, you want more money, a better life, the freedom to do what you want, when you want. You dream of paying off debt, of traveling the world, of building something that lasts. That fire, that desire, is real. It burns inside you. But then the day begins, and something else takes over. You also procrastinate. You delay the important calls. You push the work out to tomorrow. That big project on your desk, it can wait until you feel more inspired. You binge on distractions, social media, streaming shows, anything to quiet the voice that says you should be doing something else. You wait for the right mood to strike, as if motivation is some mystical force that will arrive unannounced and solve all your problems. So, at the end of another day, you're left with the same frustrating feeling. The gap feels wider than ever. And you think, I'm just lazy. You tell yourself you lack discipline, that you're not cut out for success, that maybe you just don't want it badly enough. Wrong. That is the single most destructive lie you can tell yourself. You are not lazy. The problem isn't your character, it's your strategy. You're trying to win a marathon by sprinting randomly once a week. You wait for a burst of energy, go all out for a day, burn yourself out completely, and then collapse for the next 6 days, wondering why you're not making progress. You're treating a long-term journey like a short-term race. This all-or-nothing approach, this cycle of intense effort followed by total inaction, is a guaranteed recipe for failure. It's exhausting, it's demoralizing, and it reinforces the false belief that you're the problem. And that's why you keep failing. But that ends today. What if I told you, the Japanese samurai solved this 400 years ago? Samurai weren't grinding 24/7, they weren't hustling, they followed a principle called Kaizen. It means continuous improvement, tiny steps, not massive action, not motivation, not disciplined marathons, just small, consistent progress, because they understood something most people don't. Big effort is unreliable, small effort is unstoppable. Think about this, you can't force yourself to work 10 hours every day, but can you do 10 minutes? Let's talk about your real problem. It's not that you're lazy, unmotivated, or lack discipline. The real issue is that you're trying to climb Mount Everest in a single day, wearing flip-flops. You're a victim of your own ambition. We've all been there. That surge of motivation hits, maybe on a Sunday night or New Year's Day, and we grab a notebook filled with heroic intentions. We don't just set goals, we script a complete life overhaul. You tell yourself, this is it. Starting tomorrow, I'll go to the gym 5 times a week. You picture the perfect workout, the post-gym glow, but your brain pictures the reality, packing a bag, the commute in traffic, finding a locker, the hour of grueling effort, the shower, the commute back. It's a 2-hour commitment, 5 times a week. Or you declare, I'll build a side business after work, a noble goal, but after a draining 8-hour day, your brain doesn't see building a business. It sees an endless mountain of tasks, market research, website design, product creation, marketing, accounting. It's a vague, terrifying, and exhausting prospect, and the classic, I'll wake up at 5 a.m. every day. You imagine quiet, productive mornings. Your brain imagines the violent shock of the alarm, the cold floor, the groggy stumble to the coffee machine, and the sheer battle against your body's natural rhythm. When you present these massive, life-altering goals, your brain, the ancient survival machine that it is, does a quick calculation. It sees a huge expenditure of energy, a major disruption to homeostasis, and a high probability of failure and discomfort. And its response is swift, decisive, and non-negotiable. It says, nope, absolutely not. This isn't a moral failing, it's a biological feature. Your brain is designed to conserve energy and avoid perceived threats, and a sudden radical change is a threat. It sees pain, it sees effort, it sees resistance. So, to protect you, it deploys its most effective weapon, procrastination. It delays, it finds distractions, it whispers, we'll start tomorrow, you're tired today, you deserve a break. But what if we could hack this system? This is where the genius of Kaizen comes in. It flips the entire script. Kaizen is the art of making progress through steps so small, they are laughably easy. It's about bypassing the brain's threat detection system entirely. So, instead of the monumental goal, I'll work for 2 hours every night on my business. A goal that screams effort and triggers immediate resistance. You make a new proposal, a tiny, almost ridiculous one. You say, I will just open my laptop and work for 5 minutes. Now your brain does the calculation again. 5 minutes. It's nothing. It's less time than it takes to decide what to watch on Netflix. The energy cost is minimal, the threat level is 0, the resistance melts away, and your brain's new response is a shrug. It says, fine, whatever, we can do 5 minutes. And that single word, fine, is the key that unlocks everything. Because you've just done the hardest part. You've started. You've overcome inertia. And more often than not, those 5 minutes will turn into 10, then 20, because an object in motion stays in motion. You didn't trick your brain, you negotiated with it. And that is how real, sustainable change begins. Most people fail before they even begin. You're going to win because you begin. Motivation is a scam. It comes and goes. Momentum? That's physics. Once you start moving, it's easier to keep moving. That's why Kaizen works. You start small, but you don't stay small. 5 minutes becomes 15. 15 becomes an hour. Not because you forced it, because momentum pulled you. You don't rise to your goals. Here's where it gets powerful. When you do something every day, even tiny, you stop being someone who wants success. You become someone who trains someone, who builds someone, who executes. Identity changes everything. Because once your identity shifts, you don't need motivation anymore. You just act. You're not lazy. You're just inconsistent. Every time you fail to stick with a new habit, what's the first thing you blame? If you're like most people, you tell yourself, I just need more discipline. I need more willpower. You think the answer is to grit your teeth and push harder through the resistance. Wrong again. The relentless pursuit of discipline is a trap. It's a battle you are destined to lose, because willpower is a finite resource. It's like a muscle that gets tired. Relying on it to consistently overcome obstacles is like trying to sprint a marathon. You'll inevitably burn out. The real enemy isn't a lack of inner strength. The real enemy is friction. Friction is every tiny obstacle, every extra step, every moment of decision that stands between you and the action you want to take. It's the activation energy required to get started. The secret isn't to increase your force, it's to lower the barrier. You need less friction. So, how do you do it? You become an architect of your environment. You strategically design your surroundings to make your desired habits the path of least resistance. Make everything easier. Want to work out in the morning? Don't just put your shoes by the bed. Lay out your entire workout outfit. Fill your water bottle, and have your headphones and playlist ready to go. Reduce the number of decisions you have to make from 10 to 0. The only thing left to do is put on the clothes and walk out the door. Want to build a business? Don't just open your laptop. The night before, decide on the you will do first. Open that specific document, spreadsheet, or email draft. Close every other tab. When you sit down, there's no question of what to do. You just begin. Want to create content? Don't wait for inspiration to strike. Pre-write a list of ideas. Then, take it a step further. For your next session, choose one idea and write the first sentence or the 3 main bullet points. You're not writing the whole thing, you're just building the on-ramp. This is the essence of Kaizen applied to habit formation. Kaizen is not about pushing harder against a wall of resistance. It's about dismantling the wall brick by brick until there's nothing left to push against. It's about making starting. Every great journey, every massive success, every life-changing habit is not the result of one monumental act of discipline, but of 1,000 small, frictionless beginnings. Focus on the start, and the momentum will carry you forward, because starting is the only thing that matters. If it feels hard to start, success is not one big win, it's thousands of small ones. Every time you show up, do the tiny task, keep the promise to yourself, you build confidence, and confidence compounds. Just like money, that's how lazy people become dangerous. They don't burn out, they outlast. Burnout is what happens when you try to be a hero. Kaizen turns you into a machine. Improve by 1% daily. That sounds small, but here's the math. In 1 year, you're not 365% better, you're 37 times better. That's the power of compounding. That's the samurai mindset. So here's the truth. You don't need more motivation. You don't need a new plan. You need a smaller step. Start so small it feels stupid, but do it every single day, because consistency beats intensity, every time. Tonight, don't change your life. Just do 5 minutes of the thing you've been avoiding. That's it. If this hit you, subscribe, because next, I'll show you how to turn this into a system that makes money while you sleep. And trust me,